Hola Colchoneros, welcome to Atleti Fanatics, and this is me, Alex, and as usual, I have with me St. Keeks, and wonderful news. This is the first win for us ever since we started doing recording the videos. Ever since we launched the YouTube channel. Actually, this is our first win. So yeah, St. Keeks, congratulations on that one. First win, and we are finally analyzing a game which we've won, and a very dramatic fashion to win as well, scoring in the 90th minute. And again, ever since like the start of the season, we've been scoring these goals like very late in 90th minute, and again after like a few bad run, like finally we can see some eagerness, some desire from players, to finish the game on a high note. And what a great goal that was from Pablo Barrios, and especially the fact that that was his first goal in La Liga this season. And I loved it the way he celebrated it as well, with kissing the badge and just showing like he's pure Atleti,
Hmm.
our own boy, our future captain, as we say. So the game ended 2-1, and we finally cut the gap to Barcelona to 7 points, and then Real Madrid is just 3 points ahead of us. Do you guys still believe? Um, I mean, it's a bit of like a tough one to be honest. I mean, there is hope, that's for sure. Like we discussed in the last video, like this game will give us hope for sure, because Barcelona and Real Madrid, they have very difficult fixtures coming up, and given the fact that there is El Clasico in between as well, and whereas we have not that difficult fixtures, unless and until like we fuck up against Las Palmas away. And but anyway, I mean, like we're from Atletico de Madrid, we focus on the next match, which is Valladolid. So yeah, I'm gonna skip that part right now. And then moving to St. Keeks, what do you think about the match, St. Keeks? And congratulations, by the way, on our first win. We definitely won a game.
um, I think first half wasn't great, but I think there are a lot of bright spots from this game to look forward to. I think some of these substitutions were very interesting. I think we saw some very bright moments from Lamar at the very end. We saw a lot of really good moments from Giuliano at the start of the second half. We saw Gallagher, who almost as the game went on, like increased his intensity with both his pressing, passing. I think he can be that difference maker as the games go on, especially in these later games where you have less time to focus about like recovering. So he can go all in this game next week, rested, do it again. You know, Barrios had a great game. Really happy for his goal, first goal in La Liga. Surprisingly, he scored in UCL and Copa del Rey already. So it's kind of a backwards um, scoring process. But he scored against Sevilla. Same goal, same team that Koke scored against for his first goal. So that's something to look forward to.
True. I mean, like we can hope for the best. Hopefully, he can
Hopefully.
join in the steps of Koke, legend. And we're gonna talk about all the players as we move on. But let's just talk about on the like since you mentioned like the first half itself of the
Hmm.
game, because it was a very slow start. I mean, like at one point we were like, "Come on, that's another game, another heartbreak." Real got points, Barca got points, and then 7 minutes in we are 1-0 down, and
Yeah.
there were some doubts coming up, because like now like can we really do it again, like is it like another loss on the way, especially against Sevilla, because it's been this week like we discussed in the preview of the match. But let's take a look on the starting 11. So it's Molina, and then Lenormand, Longley, and Aspilicueta, which was a surprise for me. Like Aspilicueta starting on the left hand side, because what we discussed in the preview was Aspilicueta might start on the right hand side with Lorente, and then we also talked about like Molina starting on the right hand side with Lorente coming in midfield, which actually happened. And but this one was really surprising for me. Aspilicueta on the left hand side, leaving both Gala and Ronaldo out. Maybe Simeone thought like Aspilicueta is good with ball carrying.
Mhm.
It's good with passes, maybe something like that. But midfield, we already knew it's going to be Barrios, Gallagher, and Giuliano with Lorente. And then forward line, again, without any argument, Griezmann and Alvarez. Again, very slow and very, very average game for Griezmann, I would say. I mean, again, like we will discuss this in detail as we'll move forward with the video. But
Yeah.
let's just talk about the first half itself. So we played with this starting 11, and then 7 minutes in, I mean, like again, like this need to be like a wake up call for the players. Like, come on, like the match has started. Like you need to perform. And then Sevilla came in from a corner, and then that goal was like just like you can't really defend. Like I can't really blame anyone for that goal. There was a superb finish and no chance for Black as well to save it. And 7 minutes in, we are behind. And then, is there a reply from our team? No, there's no reply. Like we were just hanging on. Sevilla kind of like took that momentum, and they were like they're like they were very very good attacking in our half, and they were very threatening as well. And we saw a few occasions where they could have scored the second goal if like just like few things might have worked their way. But anyway, moving on. I'll ask you actually, Saint, what do you think about the first half and that starting 11?
I think the Aspilicueta, as I said before, was a surprise. We did briefly mention the possibility of Aspilicueta starting. We were expecting him to be on the right hand side if he was to start, hoping for Ronaldo to start to get that yellow card suspension off of him. And if he did get a yellow card, then we could just go to the Valladolid game where he wouldn't be desperately needed and we could just take a game off and then he wouldn't have any worries, right? So to see Aspilicueta start on the left back, he's done it before, but a Giuliano Aspilicueta left hand side to start off the first half was very disappointing to say the least. It was a you anticipate and hope. Okay, well Lino's out, so we have to do something on this left hand side. Okay, well we know Luka Bacchio is a scary player, but having Real Nilo there, we can kind of we can nullify to a certain degree what how much impact he could have, and then we can say, all right, let's have somebody on this left hand side who can do all of that. And it's like, okay, maybe Giuliano, maybe Riquelme or somebody, whoever it is, fine. But
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you there. Like just pointing out Giuliano. I think like we figured out like where he is at his best, and that is the right hand side because we saw that in the second half as well. On the right hand side, he was much better as compared to on the left hand side. And then, but I mean, this is where we have to like see as well, like to play the players on their like best positions. And like, for example, Gallagher, again,
um,
brilliant game, very very brilliant game by him. But yeah, sorry, continue.
uh, I don't mind if players swap around. It's just we have a bad record against Sevilla historically. We want to get a result, right? This is Sevilla's worst set of runs. This is the time to win it, and luckily we did. But you need to set your team up to do so. Aspilicueta and Giuliano has never been experimented before this, right? That combination at the left hand side. Aspilicueta has barely been started on the left hand. If he has, it's usually been with Lino or Gallagher. And with the express purpose with Gallagher to help with the build up, and then with Lino, the same thing where it's like his main purpose is to drive on that flank and he can still come back and help you defensively. Giuliano's not bad, but he is not as experienced as either Lino or Gallagher defensively, and you can see the kind of cracks because a lot of times you'd see Luca Bacchio basically one on one with Aspilicueta, which is not ideal. Aspilicueta is a good defender, but you don't want him to be one on one of the better wingers in La Liga. You want him to be in a situation where he has to either drop back because he's against 2-on-1, or he has to try and play link up with somebody else. We saw in between the first half where what should have started as one thing, eventually Giuliano was on the right hand side. Gallagher ended up on the left. He was no longer in a double pivot, and Llorente somehow ended up in a double pivot. And it was better, but it was still less than ideal because you wanted to still have Gallagher in the midfield or having more midfield responsibilities. So it's a strange game. We didn't play particularly well in the first half. I don't think Sevilla was very smart in the fact that they got an early goal. And yes, they used some of their momentum, but if you really wanted to kill us off, then and there, you had to at least try and test Oblak, and they didn't really test Oblak much in the first half despite the momentum. So we got that penalty with Gallagher again. Gallagher, fantastic game from him. Wins a penalty from getting that run, which is a really nice run, and he comes inside. Barry makes a mistake, and then gives away a penalty. Barrios and Gallagher in that first half were one of a bit of a saving grace, and we got something out of that half. And so I'm happy in the end how it ended up, but I'm not happy in how it turned out because there's a lot I could criticize in terms of the back line and in terms of, I think, maybe like the build up past the halfway line. We barely went and really challenged Sevilla, honestly. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the first half, more or less.
True, true. Because like when we talk about the first half, like we didn't really create anything to be honest, other than the penalty itself, which was again Gallagher, which was great for me. I think like Gallagher was like a shout out for a man of the match. Julián Álvarez won the man of the match for some reason, but for me it was Pablo Barrios, and then for it, if someone would have been in the second place, that would have been Gallagher. He won the penalty, and this is what we're missing from our midfield actually. Like those runs and the in the box, like from the midfield area. We're missing this actually, and like we've seen this from Gallagher time to time again. He make those late runs. He try to get inside. Like even like when he scored his first goal for us against Valencia, you could see that like he passed it to DePaul, and then DePaul like finally like found him, and then like he make those runs in the box, which I think is from Atleti perspective of view, I think DePaul doesn't really do that much because he always stays on the edge of the box, and Barrios because Barrios is more like plays in that number six role.
Deeper role, yeah.
Exactly, and then so there's only one midfielder who actually does it, and that's Gallagher. And then again coming back, I mean like it's too late to be honest, like to talk about it. But again, like like Gallagher is showing game in game that he deserves minutes every game. By not playing him against Barcelona was, I think, a very, very big mistake from Simeone. And given the fact that like you could see Rodrigo de Paul was tired as well, so he definitely deserved the chance. But again, I'm like, what's gone is gone. You can't really talk about it. Good thing to see Gallagher again proving himself. That what
Hmm.
he can do, what he can actually provide to this team. He's one of those fan favorites as well, and pretty good game. And so, but anyway, pretty good penalty from Julián Álvarez as well. I was afraid with that. Like, don't double touch this one, please. But anyway, moving on. I think yeah, for Alvarez as well, I would like to talk about like in the first half he was not really that much effective. That changed in the second half.
Hmm.
But again, the first half was very very slow from us. We just couldn't really like threaten them in any way. We just had one thing that was
If
a penalty.
if I could say is like that first half, I think I didn't like anybody in that back line. I didn't like Molina. I didn't like Aspilicueta. I didn't like Longley. I didn't like Lenormand. I think Lenormand was one of my. I was disappointed in his game today because you coming in as effectively the as the Jimenez replacement, right? You're coming in. You're effectively the head of the back line. Your job is to organize things, make everything nice, sweep up any defensive errors, help with the build up. I can't say he did a particularly good job. I think somebody pointed out to me that was like, oh well, he saved a goal. It's like part of the reason that that goal chance almost happened in the first half for Sevilla was because he just left huge acre of space between him and Molina, and they were just like, oh well, it's a free run, and they just made a run, and Oblak made a good save, and then he cleared it afterwards. But it's like that amount of space is not supposed to be free to get it from Atletico. You shouldn't be getting that kind of space. I wanted to see more. Longley was not particularly good today, but he's not in particularly good form at all, to be honest. Aspilicueta, I was a little saddened by, but he's in an unusual position. He's in left back. He's normally not going to do that much, and then the dynamics around or near him weren't particularly good. So I think Molina needs to have a rest. He looked tired before the international break. He looked like he needed some rest. He went to the international break, did okay with Argentina, looked really tired afterwards. And we were like, oh, okay, cool. Clearly, Simeone is going to rest him
But
now.
but again, I
No,
mean, like
he didn't.
he's not even playing that matches. Like like if you're like suggesting like he's playing 90 minutes every game, that's not the case.
No, it's not about that. It's like sometimes a game or two where you just don't play is enough to give your legs some proper rest because a match day takes out a lot more than, say, training does. And I think there are players both in the squad and outside of the squad in terms of like the academy who can help and alleviate these problems in terms of match fitness and these other things. So the first time ever we had even some kind of injury crisis with the Paul and Lino out. So we can look to the academy. Ryan didn't get to play today, but I think we alluded to it before where we were saying there's a possibility today. There's probably more of a guarantee against the next game with Valladolid because they lost again today. They lost 4-0 with 10 men against Getafe, of all teams. Getafe scored 4 on you. They look to be as close to relegated as possible in right now. And if there is a time to test out some academy players, that would be the team to test them out at. We're at home, we're against them, relegation contender. Not contender, almost relegated.
True,
So yeah.
true, true. Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, talking about that. Oh, Black save as well. I think amazing
Mhm.
save again. Like, no disrespect to Juan Musso. Maybe he would have saved that Barcelona's goal. Maybe I don't know because like again, I
Maybe.
mean, it's a like like gone, but like since it's like pretty recent, I just can't let go. It just keep coming to my mind. But again, great save from Oblak. And then the goal line clears from Lenormand. But yeah, again, I get like there's been a few occasions where Lenormand was like he didn't know like there was a one run from Sevilla player like where he was like looking here and there and like the player was like literally on the
Oh,
wing.
you're talking about Salas, the
Yeah,
centre back from Sevilla, runs right past Lunamon. He does nothing about it, and they almost score
e-
for nothing.
exactly. And then like he side netted the ball. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, yo, what's going on?
Exactly. Like
Please
he
pay
didn't notice.
attention.
He didn't notice. He was just like looking here and there, and then suddenly the player was like right in their box.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on to the second half, I think this is where we actually improved. Again, that was a very average game from Griezmann. Like game by game, there's a like like from the fan base, there's a like disliking coming towards him. Like he's not in his right mind, that's for sure. Just like we discussed, like last time we faced Sevilla, we won 4-3, and that was Griezmann with 2 goals in that match. And how he has declined from that point until this point, it's very sad. And guys, you can ignore the dogs in the background if you can. And but anyway, so the Griezmann thing happened, and then very average game. And then the substitutes from us, I think they really changed the game for me, to be honest.
Hmm.
Cook coming on was a very good change. He impacted the game so well. I think again, like if we had Koke for these past few games, some results might have been something different. I am pretty sure about that because
The worst time to
Koke
get an injury, huh? Our
exactly.
hardest part of the season.
Exactly, like we have this difficult fixtures coming up, and like our captain gets injured, and I think what Koke bring to this team is that stability and that balance, which again, like Barrios has to grow in that role. Again, like Barrios is doing amazing to be honest, but like Barrios has to grow in that role. For me, Koke substitution was very impactful, and then Juliana moving to right hand side was very impactful as well. And then Sorloth coming in, I think it was like he did much better than Griezmann for me, to be honest, even though he did nothing. but still they're much better than Griezmann. And then we move on to again Gallagher was great. Lemar got a few minutes as well, which was very good to see. And he's getting back on the field. And then it was Lemar. Javi Galan came on pretty early as well for Aspilicueta. He did a pretty decent job as Javi Galan. I won't say like it was like very impactful, but a very decent job. And then we had what else did we change? It was Koke, it was Sorlot, it was Javi Galan, it was
Riquelme.
Lemar, and then Riquelme. Riquelme provides some energy coming to the second half as well. There was actually like when Barrios scored that goal with that amazing run. I saw Riquelme in space. I saw him like
Mm.
unmarked in space. I thought he was gonna pass, but like wow, what a finish! And that too with his like the weaker foot, the left foot as well.
Hmm.
What a great goal and the way he celebrated
Outside the box.
outside the box. Exactly. Simeone's been telling him to like to take his shots more often. This time he does it. What a time to do it,
Hmm.
and what a way to win a match. And so finally, like keeping us happy. All of this happiness is because of Barrios at the moment. But yeah, anyways, in case go on, take on with the second half and the spectacles.
Um, Cookie, as we mentioned, Cookie is he's that like it felt like almost a night and day difference in terms of stability. Not to say that Barrios was bad because he was good in the first half, but what Koke did in that last 25 to 30 minutes of the game, you free up space. So now Barrios is now back to playing eight, which is his preferred role. You get to see him play in a more I can just run up and down again. I can just make that pass again. You have Lamar normally on the left hand side, but is on the right this time. It's so nice to see a player who is left foot. It seems like such a nothing thing, but it's like having a left footed player to give you another option is really nice because we have so many right footed players that it is just like it almost becomes obvious where we're going to play the game. So great from him. I think Riquelme was very active in the game. It was just a very frustrating moment because he got himself into some really nice places. He would make these nice little small runs. You'd get past one or two players, and
Yeah,
then he
again,
would
that
mess up
like
a pass.
the end product from Riquelme isn't that
Yeah.
great from the end product. But yeah, anyway, continue.
Um, I I was a little frustrated with Solot because I think you mentioned it, it's like Griezmann was ineffectual, but not just ineffectual. A lot of times he was giving away the ball directly to Sevilla, which is not something we needed. But Solot was just ineffectual. He wasn't giving away the ball. I guess that's an improvement somehow. But it's like what we wanted from him in terms of his height, in terms of his strength, in terms of I know we can't get. We're not going to expect Luis Suarez from Solot. That's not a realistic expectation. But I would still like to see more because you're 6'4", you have a great leap, you're a very strong player. We've seen it before, but you get an out muscle by Gudeli, and it's just like I really would appreciate if you wouldn't get an out muscle by Gudeli. But and I wanted to see those small runs that he does occasionally off the ball or with the ball, where he can pass off and these other things. And he had some moments, but to say he was particularly impactful would be wrong. I think the rest of the subs were particularly good. I think Riquelme had moments. I wish he had. If he had better end product, we might have scored earlier. If Galan maybe crossed a little bit faster sometimes, I think he always delays it just a little too much, and it kind of cuts off some of his impact a little bit. Omar was nice, and Koke was great, and it's like yeah. So I like the subs. I think it was great. Small part of me believes we should have started either Galan or Ronaldo. Not small part of me. A large part of me believes we should have started Galan or Ronaldo in this game. I think you choose one of the two when it comes to Luke Baku. Do you want to attack Sevilla at their home, or do you want to take that defense, withstand the pressure, and properly counter attack with one of our players, etc. Right? So it's a shame. I'd like Aspilicueta, but this wasn't the game for him, and we saw that in the second half where we got those other fullbacks and these other things. Molina needs to rest. Azpilicueta probably doesn't need to be starting left back, and we can try other options, maybe from academy, to properly facilitate the team. I think so. Yeah.
True. Because again, like talking about Griezmann, I would say it's been getting bagged game by game. Think think like he should be on bench by now. I think other players should get the chance. But
Hmm.
again, sometimes I think Simeone feels like he's too important to leave on the bench. I feel it that way. But again, I think like when you're like not performing from like a series of games, I think you should be benched. We've seen it with Gala, we've seen it with Renildo, we've seen it with Riquelme as well. So like like why treat him indifferent? And so I think Solot should get a chance to start the game against the next game, or maybe you can just try any youngster coming up from the academy as well. Just give him a chance because like a few fixtures coming up are pretty easy to be honest. But again, when it's Atleti, it's never easy to be honest. Again, we have to suffer for some reason. But
How it
again,
is. That's just how it is.
exactly. Like if you are an Athletic fan, like you just sign up. Like like you have to suffer. That's like one of the main things. But anyway, moving to the next topic, which I think Julian Álvarez really did well in the second half. He stepped up. He tried to create some chances. He took some shots as well. There was one very decent shot from him, which was saved by Nyland. And again, pretty good win to be honest. A must needed win because now the gap is just 7 points. With Barcelona still have to play Villarreal. Villarreal, they have to play Villarreal, right? Barcelona. Do they have Villarreal in their fixture list?
I I believe they have Villarreal as well in their fixture list. I know
And they
Barca
have exactly.
against Athletic Club at home, which is
Exactly, Athletic Club as well. Then they have again Celta Vigo. They have a very poor record against Celta Vigo,
yeah.
and then they have El Clasico coming up as well. So there are a few games where they might slip up. Real Madrid again they have pretty difficult games as well. Athletic Club, Villarreal, and then Real Sociedad, and then they have again El Clasico itself.
Hmm.
I think both of these clubs will slip up. But how much would they slip up? Or I don't know because I think there will be a game or two where Barca will drop points. There will be a few games where Real Madrid will drop points, and I mean second position is definitely up for the grabs.
Hmm.
Really, like second position, we can actually go and achieve it. The second position, going for the La Liga title, Barca has to drop 3 points in 3 games. That seems very difficult.
I think it need to drop at minimum. They need to drop 3 games for us to really
Yeah, that's what I said.
take
Like
a bit
they need
because
to exactly they need to
we
drop
can't
points.
draw with them because of the head-to-head. So yeah.
True. That's what I'm saying. They have to like drop points in at least 3 games. With 8 games to go, Barca just have to win 5 games. It's pretty much achievable to be honest.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, like we can do is hope. But second place is definitely up for grabs, and hopefully we can achieve that second place. But anyway, that'll be all from us. And until Saint Keeks, you wanna add anything?
Nothing to add.
Great. Congratulations to all the Atletico Madrid fans, and enjoy this win, first win for this month as well, April, and finally, the clouds are going away, the sun is shining, and hopefully the sun keeps shining on us, and we'll see you guys on the preview for the game against Valladolid, and until then, let us know your points, whatever you want to discuss on the comment section. You guys can let us know your opinions with the starting 11 and with our Pablo Barrios goal as well, future captain of the club. And thank you so much for watching us today. And thank you, Saint Keeks. We'll see you guys pretty soon. Ciao, ciao. Opa Atleti.